Well, here we are. Hi. We'll spare you the open tonight because I'm having a little bit of a technical issue. So welcome to tonight's Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. And as you can guess, I'm Joe and he's Joe. And hope you had a nice day. So there. Uh, I noticed, by the way, Mr. Rayo, earlier today, early this afternoon, they put this severe thunderstorm watch out for eastern Pennsylvania, northwest New Jersey. At the same time, there was like really heavy rain that was going on over Long Island, particularly over Suffolk County. And then I saw that there were, I think, three tornado warnings that were issued uh, late during the mid afternoon with some thunderstorms that looked like most of them went to your west.
Yeah, all we had today, Joe, was just some light showers at worst. Last couple of days, we've had close to an inch of rain, an inch yesterday, close to an inch the day before. Not sure how much we received today, but really nothing to compare with what we had the last couple of days. There was anticipation that there might be some severe weather. We were in a marginal risk zone today, but as you pointed out, most of the activity was west of us, over toward eastern Pennsylvania. My brother in law actually had a rather significant heavy thunderstorm cell pass over him, and he was under a tornado warning for a short while this afternoon. He was over in Monroe County in Pennsylvania, up in the Poconos. But again, here, not much to write home about.
Right. And I was bright and sunny without a cloud in the sky all day long. 48 this morning, and 68 now. I think we got to like 72 or 73 here today in North Georgia. Parts of upstate New York are getting clobbered at the moment, so we're going to take a look at that on the radar, and also areas in East Texas and Louisiana getting clobbered with some big thunderstorms and flash flooding. But before we do that, welcome to everybody tonight on the chat board, and welcome to those of you who are watching in the background on tonight's Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. We are here Sunday through Thursday at 7:35 p.m. There are no schedule changes for this week. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Turn your notifications on so you don't miss us. And if you like the show, hit the like button. So here we go. There's a lot of flash flood watches up in upstate New York. Looks like the upper Hudson Valley, Mr. Rayo, under a flash flood watch. And there's actually one county in southern New York that has when I say southern New York, I mean the counties that border Pennsylvania. There's a one flash flood warning that's up right now. But that's where the concentration of the thunderstorms that formed in Pennsylvania earlier went up, headed up to, and that's where they are currently producing some very heavy rainfalls in upstate New York. Also, we have flash flood watches, flash flood warnings, and tornado watches up from the coastal bend of Texas and in East Texas, eastward across Louisiana, southern Arkansas, southern Mississippi, as that we've got one upper low in the east. You got another upper low that is in the southern plains, and between the two of those are the two big weather producers. Also seeing some flash flood watches up in northern Texas and northeast New Mexico, and we still have winter storm warnings up in along the I-20, along and just west of the I-25 corridor. I want to see what's going on in Denver. Let's take a look. Uh, Denver is still out of it. They're not in any of the warnings and advisories that are up, but it's a chilly 43 in Denver right now and raining. And with respect to the winter storm warning, Joe, and we know that this is May, heavy snow, additional snow accumulations of 6 to 14 inches, with the heaviest snow over the crest and eastern slopes of the Front Range. And this includes the Rocky Mountain National Park and the Medicine Bow Range and the mountains of eastern Summit County, the Mosquito Range, and the Indian Peaks. Have you ever been to any of those places?
No, I have not. I have been in that area, Utah and Montana, but I've never been in Colorado, and I would suppose, Joe, since Denver's the mile high city, that a lot of these places that are in the warning zone for snow probably have elevations above 10,000 feet.
Yeah, travel could be very difficult at times this afternoon and tonight, including the I-70 east, excuse me, I-70 east of the Eisenhower Tunnel. The peak to peak highway, US 40 over Berthoud Pass, and Highway 14 over and east of Cameron. So, you Colorado folks, you know where all this stuff is. I know Maggie P on the chat board is from Colorado. So she probably knows where all these places are. So the Weather Service is saying, Joe, if you must travel, keep an extra flashlight, food, and water in your vehicle in case of an emergency. The latest road conditions in Colorado can be obtained by calling 511 or by going to CoTrips, coloradotrip.org. So there you go. Uh, Still winter someplace. Meanwhile, you look at the loop, the upper low in the east has now moved up. It looks like it's centered somewhere over Lake Erie and just spinning away, kind of slowly making some eastward progress. The one thing I noticed starting last night and this morning was that things seem to be moving a little bit faster. So there might actually be some genuine improvement for eastern Pennsylvania to southern New England for tomorrow.
Tomorrow, first of all, overnight tonight to me looks rather interesting. I went for anything and everything. I On my Facebook forecast, I've got showers in the forecast till about 9 o'clock tonight, but primarily west of the Hudson River. I mean, I live to the east of the Hudson, and as it appears right now, I'm in a corridor of basically dry conditions. I don't anticipate any precipitation of significance, but I also think that there might be areas of there might be some, partial clearing, some breaks in the clouds overnight, which may allow you to see a little bit of the moon. At the same time, though, there may also be enough low-level moisture to translate into patchy areas of dense fog, low clouds, and areas of patchy dense fog, spotty mist, and drizzle. So everything's going to be thrown at us tonight, but the kitchen sink. Temps will be in the 50s. Tomorrow you'll probably awaken to a rather drab looking start to the day, but I think tomorrow afternoon, Joe, we may actually get some good breaks of hazy sun. Temperatures tomorrow should rise into the 60s to near 70. And then as we get into Thursday, unfortunately, and we brought this up yesterday, an onshore flow is going to begin developing here toward the end of the week. And that is the beginnings of that. On Thursday, some clouds building in, maybe some rain developing late in the day, light rain carrying over into Thursday night. And then we finish out the week with what else? Rain, more rain. That'll continue on Friday, a day where temperatures will be hard pressed to make it much above 60. But all of you moms who are watching right now, it looks to me like we're going to be seeing an improving weather pattern coming our way for the weekend. Maybe there'll still be a shower lingering first thing Saturday morning, but by Saturday afternoon, the sun will be out, temperatures will be climbing toward the 70s, and it looks like a great day for Mother's Day on Sunday. For all of you who plan to take mom out to the restaurant, maybe you might want to decide on going to a place where you can have dinner served outside because it's going to be that nice of a day on Sunday. And even Monday looks like another beautiful day out there with temperatures again in the 70s. And Joe, I think that when we get into early next week, especially Tuesday of next week, there's a shot we may be seeing places getting up to maybe around 80 degrees.
Yeah, nothing can stop it this time of year unless there's a really, you get a situation like this where we have an upper low and you got these bands of clouds and rain, or if you've got the onshore flow. Otherwise, if the sun comes out, the temperatures are going to fly. Meanwhile, it was pretty much a beautiful day. Southern Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, much of Georgia, into Tennessee, eastern Tennessee, and then back up into the western lakes and the northern plains. But you can see a ton of thunderstorms, a lot of lightning strikes going on in East Texas, across into Louisiana, southern Arkansas, and over into Mississippi. And that's the next weather system. And we had these double upper lows here that were in play. Now the second one is starting to move eastward rather than lift northward, which is why we're probably going to have some complications with regards to later Thursday, and then also going into Friday, and as Joe mentioned, maybe into very early Saturday morning. I think it's probably all going to be mostly done by daybreak Saturday for eastern Pennsylvania to southern New England. Here's what the radar looks like right now, and we talked about how loaded it is in upstate New York, and indeed it is. Along and east of the I-80 corridor, it's pouring rain all the way up through central New York and now reaching up into north central New York. Also seeing some heavy rains west of Syracuse toward Rochester. Kind of tails off once you go further west of Rochester toward Buffalo, where there's not much going on there. And there's still some heavy rains going on in north central PA. Some flash flood warnings. Looks like there's 5 of them that are up at the moment. One in Northeast PA, another one in North Central PA, and then on the other side, on the New York side, well west of I-81. And then further north, just west of Syracuse, we have a flash flood warning that is up there. Also, a patchy area of showers in southwest Pennsylvania, southeast Ohio, and northern West Virginia. That's on the bottom of the upper low. Meanwhile, down in Louisiana, and into East Texas, we've got 6 flash flood warnings, 7 flash flood warnings, 8 flash flood warnings that are in effect, and 4 severe thunderstorm warnings being issued for various counties in Louisiana, East Texas, and in Mississippi. The rain goes clear up north of Little Rock in Arkansas, then kind of tails off when it gets into southern Missouri. Back in Colorado, with that second upper low, uh, quite a bit of rain east of I-25, and that's backing westward. So when it gets to the west of 25 and goes into the mountains there, that's where they've got the winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories up. There's rain showers and some thunderstorms in eastern New Mexico and northwest Texas. Also seeing some flash flood warnings up in and around Las Vegas as some showers on the tail end of this upper low, and even a couple of thunderstorms in there going on. The Northwest is fine. The rest of California pretty much is fine as well. Storm Prediction Center, 3 tornado watches are up from East Texas to Mississippi, where we have an enhanced risk for severe weather. There is the area in the Northeast. The severe thunderstorm watch just expired. We had WPC put up a slight risk for Northwest New Jersey into Pennsylvania and South Central New York, kind of at the last minute late this morning. We've got a marginal risk in Central and South Florida, a marginal risk in parts of West Texas into eastern New Mexico. Now, tomorrow, the Storm Prediction Center has a small area of slight risk in the coastal bend of Texas and a marginal risk that pokes up northward through into Oklahoma and also along the coast of Louisiana. Otherwise, not showing much. And no general thunderstorms tomorrow. They got them up in New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, and northward into Maine. That's the back edge. So I'm kind of thinking that tomorrow, there might not even be a shower around.
I don't have showers mentioned aside from maybe, again, some early mist drizzle or areas of patchy dense fog. And I think in the afternoon, the sun will break through. Now, yesterday we were debating as to whether or not there might be enough instability generated by some sunshine later in the day to perhaps stir the atmosphere up enough to produce a couple of pop up showers or storms locally. But I don't think that's going to be the case. So I agree with you. I think it's going to be basically a dry day, or at least a dry afternoon, and our next chance for any kind of precip of significance won't come until probably sometime late Thursday or Thursday night, and that'll carry over right on through most, if not all, of Friday.
And day 3, which is Thursday into Friday, this is with the next weather system. SPC has pushed the general thunderstorm risk up from Sandy Hook to between Scranton and Allentown on the northern edge, and the marginal risk noses into Maryland, down the Appalachians, and then spreads across just about all of the Gulf states and down into South Texas. So we'll see if that eventually winds up going over to a slight risk. Now, as far as rainfall is concerned, we are looking at, now this is mostly going to be with Friday into, from late Thursday into through Friday night. An inch and a half plus in northern New Jersey, the northern half of New Jersey, the Hudson Valley, northern Connecticut into Massachusetts, but every bit of 3/4 of an inch to an inch everywhere else. And then you look down in the Gulf states where we're looking at quite a bit of rain, 5 inches or more. And that's on top of what's already fallen in Louisiana. So another 5 inches possible. From there, eastward through southern Mississippi, Alabama, the Florida panhandle, actually even down into north central Florida, southern half of Georgia into South Carolina. The inch and a half line goes up to the Tennessee Georgia state line and also into southern portions of North Carolina. So, you know, a lot of Gulf moisture here getting involved because of that upper low that's moving eastward and then lifting northeast, then getting involved with another trough that's coming down from the north. Uh, but once it plays out, we should certainly see some improvement. I'm going to put up the upper air here. In fact, what I'll do is I'll go wide and go over all the way up into North America just to see what's going on elsewhere. Because we've been in this, we had this sort of omega block where you got these two spinning upper lows. One was in Kentucky yesterday, the other one in southern Arizona. The Kentucky upper low is weakening and lifting up into New England by tomorrow night. The Arizona low finds its way into the middle Mississippi Valley. And then you see there's another trough that's dropping down from eastern Canada into Pennsylvania, New York State, and kind of cuts off. It's a little further north on these subsequent runs, which is kind of interesting. But once that pulls out, we get into a northwest flow that carries us into Monday. So that, like you said, it's probably going to be nice. Most of the weekend should be fine. I think most of Saturday will be okay. Sunday looks great. Monday looks great for the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic states. And then longer range, there's another short wave that lifts up around midweek because you've got deeper troughing that's out in the west. But eventually, I mean, I'm looking at this pattern going through May 20th. Now we're into May 21st when another upper low cuts off the coast of New England. This is not a pattern that is conducive to early 90-degree days.
No, we're going to see temperatures, as I said, by early next week. Locally, we're going to see temperatures, I think, probably flirting with 80. And Joe, the Climate Prediction Center, I notice on their 6 to 10 and especially their 8 to 14 day outlook, they've got a broad area of above normal probabilities for warmer than normal temperatures for our part of the country. Now, I know that we were speculating a week or 10 days ago, based upon the European, that maybe we might be going into a protracted stretch of cooler than normal temperatures as we progress through May. But it would appear now that if all goes according to what I'm seeing on some guidance models, and also again what the CPC is saying, that we may actually be going into a protracted spell of above normal, warmer than normal, and also drier than normal conditions for maybe
Well,
the part of this month.
there's above normal and then there's above normal. Okay. Um, could it wind up being a little bit above average? Sure. But looking at the way the upper air is setting up, if you're thinking that this is going to be, you're going to be getting into early rounds of heat, um, but and lasting more than one day, uh, that I just don't see that.
Well, what you're saying then is that it'll be above normal in the sense that, let's say, normal at this time of the year is around, let's say, 65 or 67 degrees. And what you're saying is it may be above normal in the sense that it might be more often than not like 70 or 72, but not necessarily a long, protracted spell of 80s or even near 90.
Right. That's precisely what I'm saying, Rob. Yes.
Thank you.
Exactly. So here's our system for tonight, and it kind of goes away. We've got the southern system with the showers and storms in the Gulf states. It starts to push further east into the Gulf states tomorrow. And then on Thursday, and then we get a low that develops because of this next trough that drops down. You see it there, it pops up in southern Virginia. And the European, anyway, wants to have also a little cold front that kind of comes down from the north with some showers and storms ahead of that. And then the low just sort of takes over. And then we get into a more solid area of rain during Thursday night into Friday, although it does seem to come to an end from southern New Jersey and southern Pennsylvania southward, but then it's gone. I mean, if you believe the European, Joe, the rain is gone by Friday evening in just about everywhere. And then Saturday's partly to mostly sunny with the north, with the northerly wind. And Sunday, you get a nice high that builds down and keeps things nice right through Monday. And then that next short wave for Tuesday night, Wednesday brings some rain up the coast. But unlike what we just went through, what we've been, the pattern of the last 6 or 7 days, things are moving along here. We don't have another Omega block setting up. So weather systems are moving along from west to east, which is okay. If you get a day of rain, fine. But at least it's going to be dry for a couple of days behind it. And by the way, unlike yesterday, we do not have any hurricanes on the GFS. I made sure I checked.
Hey, what happened?
Yeah, actually, I checked the 18Z. I should check the 12Z just in case. I always like a good laugh when it has these things like that. But let's see. Did the 12Z have anything? Um, no, it's got the GFS, kind of lines up with the European through the middle of next week. And then it's got a big low that it forms off the Jersey coast next weekend, which is not this weekend coming up, but the following weekend, the weekend of the 17th, 18th. And then that goes away. Oh, now it still has it on the 12Z map. On the 12Z, it still has something that comes out of the Northwest Caribbean but crosses eastern Cuba as a tropical storm and, kind of goes through the southeast Bahamas and then goes east out into the open waters of the Atlantic. So, um, still trying to hold on to something, but as we all know, it's like in the wintertime, folks, when the models put up these things uh, in a longer range, they are not really worth paying attention to. Certainly not at this time of year, anyway. So, anyway, do you have Briller Jeopardy?
I do, but didn't we say that we were did you only? Oh, wait a minute. We did do the questions last night, didn't we?
Yeah, because I was able to see it. I was able to see the message on my phone without any issues. But
Right.
once again on Messenger today, when you send a message, it's making it oblong and shrinking it. So yeah, I don't know if it's cutting off the answers on your part, on your side.
No, they came in quite reasonably well here.
Okay.
So let's see what I have here. Okay, so we have a continuation of what we had last night, I guess, on this Briller Jeopardy. Average high temperatures in the month of May in the following cities. And we'll start with Baltimore. The average high temperature in May in Baltimore, Joe.
Oh, Jesus Christ Almighty. Hold on. Sorry about that. Hold on. Um, I'll say for Baltimore for the month of May, I'll say 73.
Well, that's close, but not quite close enough.
Well, Paul Roman said 74,
That's a little closer.
and Tom Contino said 75.
That is in Snake Country.
Okay, so we know where this way is going. Mike Waterhouse Bonsai on the other side of that is 77. So Monsieur Croce and Tyler Fienga at 76, along with William Uber and Frank Scalera.
And that's exactly the answer, 76 degrees.
Okay.
All righty. So the next one would be Boston.
Uh, I'll say for Boston, 70?
A little on the high side.
A little on the high side. Well, Tyler Fiega says 67.
And that's it. I'm going to give him a
Oh,
bell.
give him a bell ring.
There you go. Congratulations. How about number three, the Windy City, Chicago?
I'll say 74.
Again, a little bit on the warm side, Joe.
Oh, okay. Um, William Uber said 72.
And I'll give William Huber a ring because that's
Oh,
exactly
okay.
72.
And Contino and Cardillo also said 72. And Melander said 70.
Yes. How about Buffalo?
Buffalo. Hmm.
And
Uh,
Mr. By the way, your friend, your former colleague at Pix would not like the way you would answer this particular question. That's a
is it,
hint.
that's a hint.
Yes.
You would not like the way I would answer this particular question.
Right. Well, there were certain temperatures that he did not like the way that you,
Okay. So that really gives it away. I'm with Chris Alley and John Melander on this. Boxcars,
and you are correct. 66 degrees.
66.
Boxcars.
Boxcars.
Yes. All right. How about Charlotte, North Carolina?
Charlotte, Tom Contino, it's not nice to gossip. Okay. Even though if you can't gossip, why live? Um, so anyway, I'm sorry, what are we doing? Charlotte?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
What did we say for Baltimore?
We said 76.
I'll say for Charlotte, 80.
And you and Rich Watsmansky get a bell ring. There you go. 80 degrees. What's wrong with my bell?
Yes.
My bell seems like it's stuck here. All right, there it is. Bonus question. Bonus. Key West.
Oh God. I don't know. 80. Um, I'll say 86.
Snake Country, Joe. You were that close.
Harold
If you,
Olson said 87,
well, let me just
and John
say,
Melander said 85, as did Mike Waterhouse
Don,
Bonsai.
Mike Waterhouse Bondi, and John Melander, congratulations. You got it with
I was
85.
leaning. I was leaning.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
you were
to
warm
go
on
lower.
you were warm on every single one. I think
Yeah, I'm a little
by
warm
only about a
today.
degree or two. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, but I mean, it's.
Yeah,
Let's
you
put it
know.
this way. Let's put it this way: the skier or the guy climbing the hill would never have gone over the edge.
No. Oh
But
no, no. And I would have won. I would have won the television set and the stereo.
exactly.
Gotcha. Or the new refrigerator.
Yeah.
Actually, if I'm going to win something, I really would like to win a new oven, because that I could find useful.
Firefighter
So,
Jimmy 132 says I said 85 too. All right. Thank you. You were right. 85.
hold on. I got to write this answer to Vincent Croce. There you go. Um, so yeah, I've got no plans for tomorrow other than to go to the dentist.
Okay. I
My
didn't. I
my, you know, I have this thing, and it really works for me. Whenever I make appointments, I always try to get the first appointment of the day, and
okay.
which is great because then you go in, you're the first one of the day, and you're in and you're out. You're not sitting there waiting. Not that, lately I find that when I've waited for in doctors' offices, which I don't go to very often anymore. Um, so I don't tend to wait very long anyway. But I got a phone call today because they also know if there's ever an earlier, if somebody cancels, and you need me to come in, I can be there in 10 minutes. And sure enough, today I got a phone call saying, you want to come in tomorrow at 9 o'clock instead of coming in next week? I was like, okay, yeah, sure, why not? So that's my day tomorrow. I'm also been planting. I'm doing my garden. And having lost almost 90% of all my perennials from last winter, I've decided that I'm just going to do cheap annuals this year.
Okay. We
So,
Renata, I know, put down insecticide on the most of the grass last Saturday, and I'm hoping that it stops raining enough so that I can at least cut the blankety blank thing over the weekend. So
hmm well, Harold Olson, is it safe? Is what safe? Uh, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to find the where that comes from. Uh, oh, the old dentist. No, it wasn't the dentist, Tom. It was the doctor. Oh, I was furious. So when I lived on Long Island, I had this doctor who apparently didn't believe in being to work on time. So I was the first appointment of the day at 9 o'clock. He didn't come strolling. I'm sitting there waiting in the room. Okay. And this is the days before smartphones, so you could just at least occupy yourself. Um, but I'm sitting there waiting for him, and he comes strolling in at 10:45, and I just walk, and I walked out. And it's not like, I could understand if he was in the hospital, if there was some kind of an emergency. But the nurse who was there and couldn't stand him, couldn't stand the doctor, told me that, oh, he just comes in, he's got to get his coffee, he's got to go to Dunkin' Donuts, he's got to, uh, do this or do that in the morning. So it goes like an hour and 45 minutes late. And his argument was, well, my time is important. And my response was, and so is mine. Okay. If you can't keep an appointment, don't make one. And I was the first appointment. When I walked out, there was like, seven people waiting for me to get, for him to get there because he was backed up for 2 hours. Anyway, yeah, I don't tolerate that stuff. If you're not going to be on, if you want me to be on time, I will always be on time. You be on time.
exactly.
That was, that's a real big pet peeve of mine. Acts of God, a Mack truck jackknifes in front of you on the highway. I get that, but anything else, no, not excusable. Nope, no sympathy, not excusable. I'm going. And on that note, we're going.
We'll be
So
back tomorrow.
tomorrow
Same bat
night,
time,
folks.
same bat station.
That's right. 7:35. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.